Here are 15 things about hydrogen peroxide that mechanics and detail shops would rather you never found out, because that little brown bottle costs about $1 and it replaces a few $100s a year of the work they charge you for. First, let me be clear what we are talking about, because this matters for safety. Plain 3% hydrogen peroxide, the standard brown bottle from any pharmacy or grocery store. Not the industrial strength stuff, not the food-grade concentrate, which is strong enough to burn your skin and has no business in a home garage. 3%, $1, that is it. And here is why it works, because I like knowing why. Hydrogen peroxide is basically water with one extra oxygen atom bolted on. When it touches rust, mold, grime, dried blood, or any organic gunk, that extra oxygen atom breaks loose in a fast reaction that tears the mess apart at the chemical level. Then what is left over turns back into plain water and oxygen. No toxic residue, no lingering fumes, and no acid eating the metal underneath. That last part is the whole reason I trust it around a car, because most of what the parts store sells you for rust and grime is acid or solvent in a fancy bottle, and acid does not know when to stop. I will also say up front what this is and is not. This is not a miracle in a bottle, and I am not going to tell you it fixes your transmission. What it is a cheap, safe, chemically honest cleaner that handles a whole category of jobs that shops mark up $200 or more. The average driver hands a mechanic or a detail shop somewhere between $300 and $500 a year for problems in exactly this category. Every rusty tool, every corroded terminal, every cloudy headlight, and every stained interior is a service line item somebody gets to collect on. Now, before we get into it, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy these mechanic secrets and hacks for free, consider subscribing. It is free, and you can always change your mind later. Now let's get into it. Number 1. It takes rust off hand tools and garden tools. If you have a screwdriver, a wrench, a set of pliers, or garden shears that have gone orange, the usual advice is to throw them out and buy new ones. Commercial rust removers cost $10 to $20, and most are loaded with harsh acids that eat into good metal along with the rust. Instead, fill a glass jar with 3% peroxide, submerge the rusty tool head completely, let it sit an hour or two, then scrub with a stiff brush and rinse. Badly pitted tools may want a second soak, and there is no harm in that. The rust lifts, the steel underneath is untouched because the peroxide only reacts with the oxidized iron. Dry the tool completely afterward and put a wipe of oil on it, or it will rust again by next week. I have watched people bring tools back from the trash pile with a $1 bottle, and old American-made hand tools are worth saving, because the steel in them is better than most of what you can buy new today for the same money. Number 2. It cleans corroded battery terminals. That crusty white or blue-green buildup on your battery posts is why your car cranks slow on a cold morning, and it is also why a lot of folks get sold a battery they did not need. Turn the engine off, disconnect the negative cable first, always the negative first, then pour a little 3% peroxide right onto the corrosion. You will see it fizz as it breaks down the sulfate deposits. Wait 30 seconds. Wipe with an old rag, wire brush anything stubborn. Reconnect positive first this time, and give the posts a light coat of grease or terminal protectant. Your car starts like it did the day you bought it, and you did not pay a shop $40 to $60 for 4 minutes of work. Number 3. Foggy yellow headlights. When your headlights go milky and yellow, that is oxidation from years of sun. Detail shops charge $80 to $150 to fix it. The dealership will happily ask $200 plus, and I will tell you honestly, some folks want to sell you a whole new headlight assembly for $600. Make a paste of 3% peroxide and baking soda, put it on a clean cloth, and rub the lens in small circles for 2 or 3 minutes. Rinse and dry with a microfiber towel. The haze lifts and the light actually projects again, which matters more for night driving than most people realize. One honest caution from me. This is a cleaning and mild polishing job, not a permanent fix, and without a sealant on top, the sun will fog it again in a few months. Follow it with any cheap clear coat wipe from a Headlight kit, and it will last. Number 4, and this is the one that saves the most money by a mile, deep cleaning cloth seats and floor mats. A professional interior detail runs $150 to $250, and most of what they are doing you can do in 20 minutes. Mix 1 cup of 3% peroxide with a teaspoon of dish soap and a tablespoon of baking soda in a spray bottle. Lightly mist the seats and mats, let it sit 15 minutes, and you will see it foam a little as it lifts the stains and the organic matter to the surface. Scrub gently with a soft brush and blot dry with a clean towel. Coffee stains come up, the trapped sweat that has been baking into that fabric for years finally breaks down, and the car smells honest again. Work one seat at a time so nothing sits wet too long, and leave the windows cracked for a few hours afterward so the fabric dries all the way through instead of going musty on you. One rule: test a hidden patch first, because peroxide can lighten some dyed fabrics, and never use it on leather. Leather wants a proper leather cleaner and a conditioner, and that is a hill I will die on, because dried out cracked leather costs a fortune to replace and about $8 a year to prevent. Number 5, killing the gym bag smell. That stale, sweaty odor living in your car is not the upholstery itself, it is bacteria that has settled into the carpet fibers and the headliner over your head. Mix half a cup of peroxide with 2 cups of water, mist the carpet, the fabric, and lightly the headliner. Roll the windows down and let the car air out for 2 hours. Be gentle on the headliner, because that fabric is glued to a board and soaking it can make it sag, so mist it, do not drench it. The peroxide kills the bacteria at the source instead of covering it, which is the entire difference between this and the little tree hanging off your mirror. And while you are at it, replace the cabin air filter, because on most cars that is a $15 part behind the glove box, and a filthy one is the actual source of the smell about half the time. I am not going to oversell it. It will not erase 10 years of neglect in one shot, but it is the cheapest alternative I know to the $100 ozone treatment the shops sell. Number 6. Cleaning grease and grime off engine bay components. Commercial degreasers run $12 to $20 a can, and most leave a slick film behind that attracts dust for the next month. With the engine cool and off, mix 1 part peroxide to 1 part water in a spray bottle and mist the plastic engine covers, the valve covers, and any non-electrical surfaces. Let it sit 5 minutes. Wipe with a clean cloth. The grease lifts, the plastic looks new, and no film is left behind. Keep it away from the alternator, connectors, and the battery. Use a low-pressure hose if you rinse at all, and never a pressure washer, because water under pressure and electrical connectors have never been friends. Number 7, and here is where I have to be straight with you, because you will see this one all over the internet, and it is mostly nonsense. Spraying 3% peroxide on a frozen windshield to defrost it. Folks, 3% peroxide is 97% water. Spraying water on ice does not melt ice. What actually works is a mix of about 2 parts rubbing alcohol to 1 part water in a spray bottle, because alcohol genuinely lowers the freezing point. I would rather lose a tip from this list than tell you something that does not work. That said, keep a peroxide and water bottle in the car anyway, because it is the best thing going for wiping down interior glass and killing the film that builds up on it in winter, which is the next tip. Number 8. Interior glass haze. The inside of your windshield builds up a greasy film from plastics off-gassing in the heat, and it is why your glass smears every time you try to clean it, and why the sun blinds you at dawn. Spray a mix of 1 part peroxide to 2 parts water on a microfiber towel, not on the glass. Wipe the inside of the windshield thoroughly, then buff dry with a second clean towel. The haze comes off and the glare goes with it. That improves your night vision more than any bulb upgrade you can buy. Number 9. Blood and protein stains. If you have ever had a kid with a nosebleed in the back seat or a pet get sick, you know those stains do not come out with ordinary cleaner because they set into the fabric within minutes. Pour 3% peroxide directly on the stain and watch it bubble. That fizz is the peroxide breaking down the iron in the blood and the protein in the organic matter. Wait 2 minutes, blot with a clean cloth, repeat if needed. Same chemistry hospitals have used on linens for a century, and it works on seats, carpet, and headliners. Number 10. Cup holders, console crevices, and vent slats. The cup holders in your car are among the filthiest things you touch every day. Spilled coffee, sticky candy, loose change, and everything that grows in the sugar. Dip a cotton swab in peroxide, run it around every cup holder, every crevice, and along the vent slats. It kills the bacteria and dissolves the sticky residue without harming the plastic. 2 minutes of work and the parts of your car your hands live on are actually clean. Number 11. Water spots on chrome and glass. Hard water spots on chrome bumpers, mirrors, and exterior glass make a freshly washed car look filthy, and they come from sprinklers, well water, and washing a car in direct sun where the water dries on the panel before you can. Commercial water spot removers run $12 to $18. Spray peroxide right on the spots, let it sit a minute, wipe with a clean microfiber. The mineral deposits release and the chrome shines again. Detailers charge $30 for exactly this. Keep it on the chrome and glass and off fresh paint and rinse the panel afterward. And the prevention is free. Wash in the shade and dry the car with a towel instead of letting it air dry. Number 12. Faded plastic trim. And again I owe you an honest version. Peroxide will clean the chalky oxidation and old dressing residue off faded black trim, and after a wipe down that trim will look considerably better than it did. What it will not do is permanently restore the black, and if you leave it sitting wet in the sun on some plastics, it can lighten them further. So use it as the cleaning step, then put a proper trim restorer or dressing on top to seal it. Clean first, restore second. That is the order, and doing it in the wrong order is why most folks think trim restorers do not work. Number 13. The windshield wiper blades. Here is one nobody thinks about. Your wiper blades streak because the rubber edge is coated in road film, bug residue, and dried grime. Not always because the blade is worn out. Dampen a rag with peroxide, pinch the blade, and pull it along the full length 2 or 3 times. You will see the black gunk come off on the rag. Do both blades and the windshield, and half the time the streaking disappears, and you just saved yourself $40 in blades you did not need yet. Number 14. The child seat and the booster. Any parent or grandparent knows what lives in the crevices of a car seat. Take the fabric cover off if it comes off, and use the same peroxide, dish soap, and baking soda mix, lightly, testing a hidden spot first. Let it work 15 minutes, brush gently, blot dry, and let it dry completely in the shade before it goes back in the car. One hard rule from me: never let cleaner soak into the harness straps or the buckle. Those are safety hardware, and manufacturers say to clean them with plain water only because chemicals can weaken webbing. Fabric cover, yes. Straps, plain water. Number 15. Mold and mildew after a leak. If a window seal, a sunroof drain, or a windshield leak has let water into the carpet, you know that smell. and it is not going away with air freshener because it is living organic growth under the padding. Once you have found and fixed the actual leak, and you must fix the leak first or you are wasting your afternoon, spray a 50-50 peroxide and water mix onto the affected carpet and padding, let it sit 20 minutes, blot hard with towels, then dry it aggressively with fans and open doors for a full day. On most cars, the culprit is a plugged sunroof drain or a clogged cowl drain, and both are usually cleared with a length of weed trimmer line and 10 minutes of patience, so check those before you spend a dime anywhere. Peroxide kills mold at the root rather than perfuming over it, and this is the single cheapest fix for the smell shops charge $200 of ozone treatment to chase. Now, the safety rules, and I mean these. Always 3%, the drugstore bottle. Never mix hydrogen peroxide with vinegar in the same container, because that combination makes an acid that irritates skin and lungs. Never mix it with bleach. Wear cheap gloves if your hands are going to be in it for a while, and keep it out of your eyes. Under the hood, engine cool and off, and keep it away from electrical connections and battery acid. Store the bottle in a cool, dark place because heat and light break it down, and if it does not fizz when you pour it, it has gone flat and it is doing nothing for you, so replace it. That last point catches more people than anything else, because a bottle that has sat open in a warm garage for 2 years is basically water, and folks conclude the trick does not work when really their bottle died. And for anything mechanical, electrical, or safety related on your vehicle, that is a job for a proper diagnosis, not a spray bottle. Here is what I want you to take from all this. Not one thing on this list is a secret in the technical sense. Every detailer, every service writer, and every parts store manager knows this chemistry perfectly well. What they know better is that the whole business model of the auto care aisle depends on selling you a separate $15 bottle for every single one of these 15 jobs. Interior cleaner, glass cleaner, degreaser, headlight kit, trim restorer, odor bomb, rust remover, terminal cleaner. 8 products, well over $100, and a dollar bottle in your medicine cabinet does most of it. And notice what almost every one of these jobs really is underneath. It is oxidation or it is organic. Rust is oxidation. Corrosion on a battery post is oxidation. Cloudy headlights and chalky trim are oxidation. Stains, smells, mold, and grime are organic. That is the entire menu, and $1 bottle handles both columns because that is precisely what the chemistry does. Once you see the pattern, you stop shopping by the label on the front of the bottle and start shopping by what is actually in it, and that habit will save you money in every aisle of that store, not just this one. If I could only leave you with 3 of the 15, it would be these. The battery terminals, because a slow crank is the most commonly oversold problem in the whole business. The seats and mats, because that is the $150 nobody needs to spend. And the interior glass, because seeing clearly at night is worth more than everything else on this list combined. Down in the comments, tell me which of these 15 you are trying first, and if you have got a cheap fix of your own that saved you a shop bill, put it down there where everybody can steal it, because I read every single one, and the best tips I know came from viewers, not brochures. Until then, buy the chemistry, not the label, and check the bottle fizzes before you trust it. Don't let them sell you a repair you don't need. I'll see you in the next one.